Hi, you're on the Retelling Films channel, and this is a retelling of the movie Deadpool and Wolverine. A chatty mercenary in a red suit goes on a journey across the multiverse to find an immortal mutant in a yellow suit and save home dimension from destruction. A long, dangerous journey awaits them, complete with many cameos. The action of the movie, based on a bunch of other movies, begins when Deadpool, a very talkative mercenary, comes to the grave of James Logan known as Wolverine. Deadpool digs it up, hoping that the deceased will self-reanimate due to his regeneration. Finding only an adamantium-covered skeleton in the pit, the mercenary becomes enraged. No sooner does Deadpool enjoy his thoughts than the soldiers of TVA, Time Variance Authority, show up. Mercenary uses the bones of a deceased Wolverine as a weapon to pummel them, and at the same time launch the beautiful, opening credits set to fun music. In the process, he even uses Logan's famous claws taped to his hands like pickle ricks. The festival of murder and bloodshed ends rather quickly. The story is transported back in time to Earth 616 in a sacred timeline. Mercenary Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, after changing timelines and saving his beloved Vanessa, who was killed by the hapless writers of the second movie, wants to enlist in the Avengers. However, the secretary refuses him, advising him to pursue a career in advertising. With a face like that, Wade could be the face of a sandpaper company. After returning to his homeworld, Wade decides that he is not worthy of killing people and becomes a car salesman so that people would kill themselves on them. He works alongside Peter, a former member of the X-Force team who is also rescued with the help of the time machine. After a day of work, they return to the apartment where friends from the previous movies are waiting for Wade, but only those whose schedules for filming coincided. They celebrate the former superhero's birthday. Suddenly, there is a knock at the door and TVA soldiers are waiting outside, who take Wade to the headquarters of the department. There he's met by Mr. Paradox. Deadpool is offered the opportunity to save the sacred timeline and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. To do this, he will not only have to squeeze into an old superhero costume, but also leave his home dimension. Mr. Paradox explains that there is one nuance. Deadpool's world will lose a key character. After Wolverine's death, the threads of destiny are severed, leaving all the inhabitants to live in a cursed world they themselves created. Not wanting to sit on their asses waiting for the natural death of the universe, the TVA decide to use the Time Ripper, a device that accelerates the apocalypse in one particular universe. Deciding he doesn't like it, Deadpool takes Paradox Tempad from Mr. Paradox, a device for traveling across timelines and parallel universes, only without the stylish green portals and portal gun. After that, he goes to dig up Wolverine, which leads to a genocide of the TVA soldiers sent after him. After realizing that saving his home universe with the help of the local Logan will not work, Deadpool decides that Wolverine is basically the same as in all dimensions. If one is dead, he can be replaced by another. Wade goes on a tour of parallel worlds in costume, but runs into the unforeseen problem of the parallel Logans, in all their manifold splendor, absolutely don't care about his problems. Various versions of Wolverine refuse to help Deadpool in a rude and cynical manner, including a dwarf Wolverine and Wolverine 2-in-1 at once from Steel and Rivia. In the end, Wade finds a suitable candidate in a bar, a drunk with Hugh Jackman's face. When he passes out after draining a bottle of whiskey from his throat, Deadpool drags Wolverine to the TVA headquarters, changing him into his canonical yellow suit. Mr. Paradox explains to Deadpool that he brought in the most useless Wolverine in the entire multiverse, who is to blame for the demise of his reality. During the conversation, Wade realizes that the application of the Time Ripper to his Earth is not sanctioned from above, being a personal initiative of Paradox. Deadpool threatens to complain to Disney's lawyers, whereupon Paradox sends him and Wolverine into the Void, a dimension of a junkyard where the remains of destroyed timelines are stored. Unhappy with the transportation, Wolverine asks his partner what they're doing here. Deadpool asks for help to save his world, hinting that this way Logan can atone for the death of his world, and the TVA will be able to bring everything back by resetting everything to factory settings. A conversation between two hot guys leads to a bloody brawl. The regenerations of both allow them to strike each other as if the suits were also self-regenerating. A stabbing cutting waltz in the desert is interrupted by the voice of a mysterious stranger advising us to band together to confront the approaching gang like something out of a Mad Max movie. As a convoy of cars surrounds the costumed guys, a stranger removes his hood. Underneath it is a superhero with the face of Captain America Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four. He activates his ability to literally light things on fire, but the mutant Pyro from the bad guy squad negates Johnny's fire flow by throwing him to the ground. Next, Wolverine is challenged by Sabretooth from the first movie. The fight ends faster than Deadpool's instructions and hints. All that remains of his opponent is a decapitated body. Afterwards, the new arrivals are magnetized to a giant magnet. The captives, along with Johnny Storm, are taken to the lair of the Desert Raiders, which is located in the remains of a dead Ant-Man who managed to grow to enormous size before his death. There they are met by the leader of the bandits, Cassandra Nova, the twin sister of X-Men leader Charles Xavier, who also has the gift of telepathy. Instead of asking her why she and her brother have different last names, Deadpool lists unflattering epithets that Johnny used to give Cassandra on the way. Intrigued by the hot guy's attention, the girl gives him a reciprocal gesture of attention, ripping off his skin along with his clothes. As he crumbles into a clump of abundant bones and innards, Cassandra warns that Elliot, an intelligent matter-eating cloud, is approaching the base. While waiting for him, Cassandra tells them that the T-Vays sent her to the desert as an infant to keep people safe from her powers. She uses her powers to bury Wolverine and get into Deadpool's mind, contrary to canon, where he's immune to mental influence. She tells Wade that she can bring him back to his native reality. Seizing the opportunity, Logan attacks her, but to no avail, Cassandra is able to regenerate. At this point, Elliot approaches, forcing everyone to hide. Deadpool and Wolverine escape on the mechanical Guardian's leg, which possesses a jet engine. They make their way away from the desert, where they stumble upon alternate versions of Deadpool, Dogpool and the metrosexual Nicepool, who doesn't wear a mask, as his face doesn't resemble a kinship with Freddy Krueger. Nicepool gives the forced partners his car, a Honda Odyssey, although it would have been logical to use a Renault Logan. In the car, the partners drive to the edge of the void, where the heroes who defied Cassandra live. On the way, Wolverine learns that Deadpool has turned a little. About the possibility of returning his world to factory settings, it is only theoretically possible. In response, he tells him that they can save at least one world, his home world. Logan is not satisfied with this, which turns out to be a branch of a meat grinder in the cabin of one separate car. Good regeneration allows to cut each other into small pieces. After a long, lengthy, one might say, inventive disassembly, they lie exhausted inside the car, regenerating. There they are found by someone who leads the guys to a secret lair. Coming to their senses, they see the legendary hero of Blades Past, played by Wesley Snipes. He is accompanied by Elektra, Logan X-23's grown-up clone daughter named Laura, and Gambit. Deadpool convinces his new acquaintances to present a united front against Cassandra Nova. Wolverine refuses, but the revelation of Laura losing her Logan makes him think twice and change his mind once. A squad of elderly cosplayers move in on point to kick the bold telepath's ass. Presenting themselves in superhero slow-mo, in front of armed enemies who are too shy to open fire. The resistors climb out of the car. They have a plan. While Deadpool and Wolverine make their way to Cassandra from the trunk, the rest of the cameo masses give battle in a brief action scene. Elektra is charming, Gambit is bombastic, and Blade is still deadly and dangerous despite his age. Under the guise of slaughter, Deadpool and Wolverine make their way to Cassandra. Despite the adamantium covering Wolverine's skull, a telepathic woman penetrates his mind, leading him to believe that he is not a mutant, but an elderly Australian actor who fell for a multi-million-dollar fee from Marvel. At this point, X-23 attacks Juggernaut, deftly slashing his legs. After taking his helmet from him, the girl manages to hurl it upwards before dying, where Deadpool puts the headgear on the villain. The helmet negates her telepathic skills, releasing Wolverine from Dreamland and Eternal Tsukuyomi. Suddenly, as a write-off for a free trial, Pyro appears. He shoots the immobilized Cassandra, confessing that he is a secret agent of T-Vay in general and Mr. Paradox in particular. To save her, Deadpool and Wolverine remove her helmet. Using her skills, she regenerates and opens a portal for them to the world of Wade, with the help of Doctor Strange's glove, accurately moments before Elliot overtakes the base. However, having captured Double Agent Pyro, Cassandra learns from him of Paradox's plans and the Time Rippers. She sets out to follow Deadpool and Wolverine to bring a fierce matriarchy to their universe. After taking mental control of Paradox, the bold girl goes to TVA headquarters to make her own rules there and destroy the unwanted universes via Ripper. B-15 Hunter, a high-ranking TVA manager, learns of this. While Cassandra activates the Ripper, a whole army of alternate copies of Deadpool from other universes are dropped into their world through a portal opened through Doctor Strange's seal. Wade tries to appeal to their discretion, but the arrogant copies don't listen to him, preferring to side with Cassandra. The conversation ends in a firefight, during which Nicepool, who has sided with Deadpool, is wounded. It turns out that he, unlike the other versions, has no regenerating factor and dies from a brain-dead shot. Unable to bear such a tragedy, Deadpool and Wolverine go into battle. They valiantly take out Deadpool's army in a choking action sequence, performed in the best traditions of the 7-bit fights, methodically moving the plot forward until all the opponents have suffered makeup damage incompatible with the movie. Deadpool and Wolverine's victory doesn't bring them any closer to winning. The army of chattering mercenaries, with the exception of Nicepool, begins to regenerate. The heroes are saved from getting their asses kicked by the appearance of Peter in Deadpool's costume. The other versions of Wade Wilson's alter ego idolize him. Peter's intercession allows Deadpool and Wolverine to sneak into the TVA headquarters, where Cassandra has begun using the Time Ripper for its intended purpose, to gut time in order to destroy all dimensions and leave only emptiness as a result. Realizing there's no money to be made by the copyright holders on this plot twist, the duo of heroes set out to stop her. Paradox warns that they can merge the matter and antimatter streams, but then they themselves will simply be destroyed. Deadpool tricks Wolverine out the door, determined to personally connect the chain of matter and antimatter and thus become a hero. But he fails to short the two containers alone. He simply can't reach them. But soon Logan comes to the rescue. The explosion that kills Cassandra, but miraculously leaves Deadpool and Wolverine alive. When Agent B-15 arrives, after a brief conversation, she refuses to change Wolverine's past. After all the events, Deadpool returns to his simple, scripted life. Wolverine advises him to establish a relationship with Vanessa, about whom the writers valiantly scored since the last installment. This is the end of the movie, except for a few scenes after the credits, but we won't count them. What do you think about this movie? Write your thoughts about the movie in the comments. If you liked my short retelling, then put likes and subscribe to not miss new videos. See you soon.